Now, what makes for an extreme sport will hold different definitions for different people, but most of us would classify things like cave diving or rock climbing or whitewater rafting or those sorts of things as extreme sports. And they're extreme because of where and how they are competed. But if the where and the how can make a sport extreme, couldn't any sport in theory become extreme? Well, I'm hoping today's video will make you say yes, because there is a way to make even golf an extreme sport, and that's by putting it in the most unlikely of places. Today, let's play a round north of the DMZ at the incredible Pyongyang golf course. The history of North Korea. Okay, so it's basically impossible to write a brief history of North Korea, and almost all viewers are probably at least a bit familiar with the country, so I'm going to keep this as quick as possible so we can get back to the golf. North Korea, or officially the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, or DPRK, occupies the northern half of the Korean peninsula. The region has a very long history, starting as early as the Lower Paleolithic period, and it saw the establishment of its first kingdom in the 7th century BCE. We fast forward to the more modern era. In 1910, Korea was annexed by Japan, but after Japan's defeat in World War II in 1945, Korea was divided along the 38th parallel. The Soviet Union occupied the north and the United States occupied the south. By 1948, two separate governments were established, the DPRK in the north and the Republic of Korea in the south. The Korean War of 1950 to 1953 resulted from the North's invasion of the South, and it ended with an armistice, creating the Korean Demilitarized Zone, or DMZ, but no formal peace treaty ever took place. Post-war, North Korea initially thrived with support from the Eastern Bloc countries, but it saw economic decline after the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991. The country, under the, shall we say, leadership of the Kim family, it adopted a policy of international isolation. And despite facing malnutrition and economic hardships, North Korea to this day maintains a huge military and possesses nuclear weapons. The DPRK is characterized by its strict totalitarian regime, a strong cult of personality around the Kim family, and severe human rights issues. It follows a military-first policy, and despite being a member of international organizations like the United Nations and the Non-Aligned Movement, it remains substantially closed to outsiders. But like everywhere else on Earth, they play lots of sports in North Korea. Popular sports in North Korea include distance running, football, basketball, gymnastics, swimming, taekwondo, and more. But one sport that isn't super popular among the estimated 26 million citizens is golf. But while that's due to a variety of factors, one particular problem stands out. There is only a single golf course in use in all of North Korea, the Pyongyang golf course. Let's talk about it now. The Pyongyang golf course. Golf courses take up a lot of space, they're expensive and time-consuming to maintain, they require lots of custom equipment for care and upkeep, and let's be serious, they're an unnecessary luxury. So you can likely understand why a heavily sanctioned, economically isolated nation like North Korea isn't loaded with golf courses. But you may still be surprised that the Pyongyang golf course is the only golf course in the country, at least that is open today. I know I was surprised when I first found out. Established in 1987, the course sits 27 kilometers or 17 miles from the nation's capital of Pyongyang. It's set up in a pretty lovely spot, actually. It's nestled on the banks of the Taichen Lake, and it covers about 300 acres or 120 hectares of land. Sounds gorgeous, doesn't it? It's an 18-hole par 72 course that plays around 6,200 meters from the back tees, which is just a shade under 6,800 yards. So while it's not a PGA-length course, it is no slouch either. For those of you who like to enjoy the facilities pre or post round, it also features a roughly 29,000 square foot or 2,700 square meter clubhouse. It's got a pro shop in it, though I would love to know what they're selling in that pro shop. I'd be shocked if they were selling like Nike golf shirts or Under Armour shorts or Titleist golf balls, though I could be wrong. It's also got a high-end restaurant in the clubhouse, and that restaurant is said to be the very best in the country. Though take that claim with a grain of salt, as embellishment has been a common theme for this golf course, and that is perhaps best exemplified by the course record. And I'm putting course record in air quotes here, as let's just say the unofficial record is questionable. Let's learn a little bit more about that course record, which was shot by master dictator and world's greatest golfer, Kim Jong-il. The course record. As a public golf course that's been around for more than 35 years, you'd expect the course record to have been broken more than a few times over the years. But I regret to inform you that the course record was set on the very first day it was open, shot during the very first round ever played on the course. And it was shot by none other than Kim Jong-il himself. Hopefully, you're picking up my sarcasm here. In 1994, a course regular named Park Young-man told Australian journalist Eric Ellis during a visit to the course that Kim Jong-il had shot a 34 on the course. Park indicated that the Supreme Leader, or Tiger Jong-il as I prefer to call him, scored birdie or better on every hole and even made 5 hole-in-ones. This is even crazier than you think because the scorecard says that there are only 4 par 3s on the course, so he had to make an ace on a par 4 too. What a stud. Later, this was further clarified to note that, oh no, he actually made 11 hole-in-ones, and it was scored during the first round ever played on the course in 1987 upon its opening. And this is totally legit because it was witnessed by no fewer than 17 bodyguards, so you know it's real. Now, I can sense that some of you are skeptical about this record, perhaps not totally trusting that this actually happened, despite those unbiased eyewitness accounts. Sure enough, after the passing of Kim Jong-il though, it was indicated that the scoring system used was actually relative to par. So like +1 for bogey, +2 for double bogey, etc. So what they actually meant when they said he shot a 34 was that he actually shot 34 over par, which is a cool 106. I'm personally still calling BS on that number, but at least it's somewhat believable. And for what it's worth, the course record today is credited to German Claudio Consul, who shot a 71. And yeah, that seems a bit more sensible to me. Now I'm betting many of you golfers out there would love to play around here. I know I would. But you're probably thinking, darn it, this is North Korea we're talking about. I can't golf there. Well, boy, oh boy, are you in luck. Let's talk about how you can make your dreams come true. Well, maybe. The DPRK Amateur Golf Open. In 2004, the Pyongyang Friendship Golf Tournament was put on by Koryo Tours. These tour guides are an independent Western travel company based in Beijing, and they specialize in group and independent tourism to North Korea. And it's one of the only ways for you to realistically enter North Korea for non-diplomatic purposes, at least safely, as they handle the majority of tourism into the Hermit Kingdom. This golf tournament was a reasonable success, though it was just a 9-hole event and it was attended by only 8 people. Fast forward to 2011, and North Korea announced a full-fledged 18-hole tournament open to international participants. The first event took place in April of that year, and it's been an annual or biannual event ever since, at least in theory. Unfortunately, entering North Korea is an on and off again possibility, especially given the complications presented by COVID-19. Right now, it's off again, as Koryo Tours isn't offering the package, and it doesn't look like the tournament has happened in a while. But if you want to make this happen, get in touch with them and see if there's a waiting list. I can pretty much guarantee you'll never play a rarer round of golf in your life. Catering to mainly diplomats and foreigners, the Pyongyang golf course is a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma, to borrow from Winston Churchill. It is the nearly perfect metaphor for North Korea as a whole. It's surrounded by impossible narratives and gross embellishment. It's closed off to all but the most exclusive guests, and at its core, it's not actually all that remarkable. It's fairly standard as a golf course, but it becomes extreme because of its place within the most isolated and extreme nation on Earth. And if I ever get a chance to tee it up here, you better believe I will. And I'll be back to tell you the story about my 11 holes in one when I do. Thanks for watching today, everyone. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more athletic fun. Until next time, friends,